I'm surprised when anyone picks Inkies. It's always not natural, you know. But UTD clearly feeling confident in the Yankees pick, must know something that we don't, might have a strategy, a plan, or just think that, you know, Fairfield Stags aren't very good at that map, which I don't know. No idea, but that was their decision to make, and we'll have to see if it pans out. I'm looking at this draft right now. Classy Atlas band coming out from the Stags, which I like a lot. And a Juno pick, I think, is really interesting. I was going to say, awesome midfield pick. You know, let's go. Huge. Juno's really, really good right now, really in the meta. At Strike Shot Juno. So that is not what I was expecting. But I do like this Erasmus now forward. I think that is looking pretty strong on AtLab. I like the pendulum swing in the corner and everything else. And I've got my eyes on, again, the Strike Shot Juno. Going to see what they're able to pull off here.
Yeah, EDA Phoenix actually coached very, very recently by the two-time CCL champion Water Fury, now known as Water. Might make an appearance on the Inky Blast Zone. If you know the emote. But EDA Phoenix, this Juno has been a pick that has been picked up by this goalie in their very first match day one. It did not look the most secure, right, as Juno is not the easiest goalie to play defensively, but it did its job enough, and that's exactly what they need to do, right, because with Trages and Dropletto on very high agency, high speed characters that have a lot of control over the map, EDA Phoenix, no, barely misses the core, blue blazing, a great shot, and that's the first goal for UTD.
Yeah, just pixels away. Really unfortunate, but I'm thinking a lot about this hotshot start and how the Juno is going to benefit from that. I mean, already we're just seeing things getting sent so quickly here. It's going to result in one barrier. But obviously, we've got the Stags running this super offensive comp with the Juno, and we're going to have to see if it pans out. Phoenix is going to have to hold on to this barrier long enough to allow Dropletto and Strages to get out there and do their thing. And Dropletto with this flip, probably going to be able to do a lot, especially into this Finny, who's also just not known for being super defensive. But
Drop, no! Why would you hook that Dropletto?
That's my national second place brawler right there. Let's get it. Big plays coming out from Stags.
Drop's really working hard to continue the narrative that Strages is the best player on the team, but Drop will secure it, get the goal, maintain the flip, and everything is okay for now. But I'm seeing why Asianator was happy about Altair. That Aimee is doing work in the midfield, setting up in the corners, making life easy for Blue Blazing. And I think that could be expanded upon a little bit more, right? Because Blue is ending up using a lot of these barrier beams in the midfield to get the core forward. Saving it to get those melee interactions with the Juno goalie might lead to a higher rate of success here.
Yeah, definitely. That's really the strength of Asher, is that if you have CDs, they should just beat whoever you're up against. It's going to take some real, like, Atlas level disgusting abilities to stop whatever Asher's putting up. And Juno is not any of that. Juno is going to be sitting there. You might get a friend fling, and that's not going to be the barrier beam. That's just a sad fact of life. But great big finish coming out from Asianator. Unfortunately, not going to be enough to save the point, but able to get one barrier, and I want to see more of that Finny pressure coming out throughout this game, because I think if they can overwhelm the Juno goalie, they should just be able to pretty quickly get this game over with.
Yeah, but the same can be said on the other side, right? If Dropletto's up close and personal, if Dropletto's getting those hit stuns, those are the barriers falling quite quickly, but Blue Blazing in position, that's what he's been known for his entire career. Getting in position and using those brawler abilities to stuff in the goals, very high success rate on those, and notably did win the Redemption Bracket 4. What was it again? I think it was the Pro League Invitational Redemption Bracket, so a pretty impressive win all the way back then as well. And with Strages gone, it's all Dropletto right now, but EDA Phoenix in a tough spot. Good clear coming out. Good slime as well, but Blue Blazing, great strike war, and we're headed to a 0.5.
Yeah, great strike war. Both Phoenix and the Blob were there, and so being able to beat them, and looking really nice. Asher with that increased just base size on the strike hitbox, I believe 265 as opposed to the default 250. Always going to be nice for winning those strike wars. It's going to be really useful kind of in general. character being bigger, but crazy Sad Boys angle, crazy lag, the rubber band coming out from Asianator, everything. We're getting wacky and wild out there as all barriers are down. In this .5, anyone can take it here.
Strages now looking for a dribble forward. Altair interrupting with the glitch pop. Dangerous situation for UTD with these creations coming out, and Blue Blazing maintaining the midfield, but it goes to Dropletto once again. Strages with a perfect pass forward, but it's not quite perfect enough, and so much meter being built up by the Fairfield Stags. Dropletto now rushing forward, looking for the hook, but it goes wide. Blue Blazing and patrolling this midfield, making Asianator's life so much easier here, but the pass splitter goes wide. Dropletto with the flip, interrupted by Asianator. What a good big finish in the midfield, but it goes to drop to Strages once again. A flip available top side, another slime. It's still not enough as UTD holds on. They create miracles, and now Blue Blazing in scoring position, looking for the flick. It's not enough either. Defensive plays from Strages, Asianator with the strike shot, and both teams are still holding.
Both teams are still holding. Stags losing 2 flips. Really unlucky, but a big mine coming out from Strages. Dropletto going to be popping that once again, carried by his midfield, winning that set, and getting the MVP. Might be looking for some size, 2 of which are going to be right there. Heavy impact also not bad. Rasmus is able to put out a lot of damage, and just like that, Hover going to be first pick, heavy impact. And now Dropletto is a huge damage threat. The size going to Blue Blazing, just even more. Size going to be super useful against this Juno. Really nice, but I'm curious to see if Dropletto is going to try and play 4 KOs, especially against this Asher with a ton of base stagger. It might not be super great, or it might just be hard to pull off, but Altair not playing a character that can get up to 1900 stagger base, and that could be a great option. That's a great option. It's getting 2 barriers at the beginning. Wow.
Yeah, Dropletto looking for a speed run here as Strages waits in the wings, gets the orb, heals back up. But I'm scared of this Blue Blazing Asher right now. That's size falling down. It means that this Asher is going to have an even easier time 1v1ing the Juno. It might say as expected, but like if things go as expected, then UTD is thriving here. But Asianator picking up that additional speed, and actually it's Blue Blazing overcommitting on the bottom side, getting KO'd. Really good focus, but it's actually Altair fighting the barrier, looking for the goal here. The midfielder of UTD sets up the entire play and blows up the center.
Cinema. Oh my God, we've got a new midfielder in town. Just crazy that this game is 2 midfielders that are new to the game and putting up performances like this. It's wonderful to see, and I'm really impressed with Altair, like you said, the least known player in this lobby, but doing a ton of work right here, and it's really showing.
Yeah. Okay, apparently Altair did hit Challenger in Season 1. It came back to the game. Asianator, a great catch there, but the strike shot a little bit ambitious. Another flip. Doesn't even need to be used by Dropletto. It is burned, though, and that is good for UTD in this moment, making it hard to score. Dropletto, though, finding the dribbles. Asianator, bit of an early strike shot, and perfect pass, actually, right past Blue Blazing. Perfect slime by EDA Phoenix, and another KO found by Dropletto. Fairfield is really keeping up the damage pressure, and the combined play between Strages and Drop, predicting Asianator perfectly. Really, really clean execute on that point.
Yeah, definitely. Beautiful placement on the mine coming out from Strages, and Dropletto covering the clear. Looking wonderful out there. I've been a big fan of this aerials pickup on EDA Phoenix. Been making these blobs just put in a ton of extra work getting out there in the forward section, and the heavy impact is putting in way more work than I imagined. Dropletto is able to just get these KOs left and right, and these power plays I think are really benefiting them.
Yeah, I really like how EDA Phoenix played around the strike range of Blue Blazing there, made sure the strike war was not a possibility, and now Dropletto winning strike wars left and right, sending it forward, looking for some corner offense, as Strage is not quite there to cover the exit, and now Blue Blazing in position, but EDA Phoenix winning the strike war again. This goalie's going crazy on the Juno right now, but there's only so much you can do. Wins another strike war, and Blue Blazing needs to position better because those should have been won by the massive Asher.
Yeah, Phoenix winning all of these against the Asher size of, Antarctica is super impressive, but unfortunately the slime not coming out, not stopping that core going right in, and that's going to be another point for UT Dallas, and they have the chance here to even up this set.
Yeah, good try, but in the end, Blue Blazing does manage to secure it. Strages, though, working on a flip. Altair taking a lot of damage, and that heavy impact coming into play from Dropletto in the damage department here. Blue Blazing and Altair, though, pushing up the corner, looking like the Bozo Bunch a little bit with how hard they're playing the corner offense. And if Blue can survive and push up one last time with the remaining cooldowns, that could be huge. But Dropletto low, but still surviving here as Strages helps out on the defense and the core speed from the Slimes. But it's a Sad Boys angle yet again.
Yeah, Blue Blazing now taken low. Looking pretty dangerous for UT Dallas here. We see the Stags have an opportunity to get something done, but are really struggling to get... sorry. So they got it done now, and EDA Phoenix with the flip, able to push it forward around Blue Blazing, and this is... Oh! An insane KO from Dropletto. They have a power play. They could be able to put in a lot of damage onto Blue Blazing, take him out. But the big finish from Asianator downtown, able to put it in a slam dunk. And that's going to be UT Dallas tying up this game.
Beautiful play by Asianator. Those big finishes, those triple takes have been really, really good in the midfield, and especially for a mini-sized Fini, you have to get it done like that. But looking at the draft, there's a lot of scary stuff available. Fight or Flight in particular is so much speed, and it is denied away by Asianator, but it's going to be less effective in the goalie role. And I'm scared of that perfect form as well. Probably going to be denied by the now, or going to go for the Manu. Just goes for the Manu, but that's a big opportunity for Blue Blazing to take over the game.
Yeah, perfect form Asher is nothing to sneeze at. Right, you're constantly using your abilities. Your primary has like 3 separate hits, and that's a ton of CDR right there. Your ult obviously is a big, and I'm talking big, just hitbox that can rack up a ton of ults onto multiple targets, kind of refunding all of your abilities. So that's, you know, like 2 ability cycles and 1 offensive push, and that's terrifying to play with. And with the size and the everything, Blue Blazing is just scheduled to be running over this Juno pretty soon.
But Altair, taking a little too much damage here, has to retreat, and the core goes backwards, but Strike Wars won by the massive Asher once again, and Altair staying alive just barely. Drop unable to confirm the KO, and that is bad news for Fairfield as the barrier is taken. Blue Blazing confirms it, and the strike shot from Asianator cross map will secure the goal.
Yeah, we're just seeing a ton of offense coming out from UTD here, and it seems like Fairfield is just struggling to kind of get their footing in the game and have a response. And the points are starting to get shorter and shorter, and I feel like that's just a symptom of a struggle on defense here, and again, just the great offensive potential that UTD has in this matchup.
Yeah, I really like the Fini pick here because it allows Asia to help out on the offense, right? Keep that offense up, make it difficult. But a Sad Boys angle from Blue Blazing this time. They're going to have to flip this away, though, because of the big finish from Asianator. Asianator's playing so well here.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fini is wonderful to see. It's definitely a great pick in the melee goalie meta. Obviously has, or is not as strong defensively as other melee goalies, but still has great defensive potential and offense. Kind of a good balance, but that's going to be the second barrier, and a flip in this power play. Fairfield has the opportunity, and with the shot to the top, Dropletto will be taking it and taking us to a 1-1 in this set. Completely tied up this game.
How many times has the core gone around the AtLab barrier? There have been a little too many so far, I think.
I'm feeling sad in the building, but that one is not going to be going around. Asianator defending the second barrier, but Fairfield with a lot of damage and an opportunity to get this, playing the corner offense as the Bozo Bunch is known to do, a little bit of Dropletto gaming out on the field. But now the turns have tabled, and it's going to be 2 barriers down for Fairfield, and UTD once again has a great offensive opportunity here.
Yeah, Altair a little bit overzealous, though, and their 2 forwards are so incredibly low. A good save by EDA Phoenix as well. But Strages and Drop need to confirm these KOs quickly. Altair regens just in time, stays alive despite the pendulum swing, and Blue Blazing is more than healthy. A good strike shot in the midfield, sent it right back to Blue Blazing, though. But it goes around the world once again. Possession lost, and that means Dropletto taking the barrier. Strages dropping back to help defend. Dangerous spot. A good slime. And what a shot by Dropletto as well. The coordinated defense accelerated into the offense by the Fairfield Stags. That was so instant.
Yeah, the core speed, just not even overtime, shot that thing straight into the net. Asianator throwing out a primary, but unfortunately just not able to catch it in time. And that's going to be Fairfield. Hey, getting their footing in the game. Sorry, Dropletto is dead, but, you know, and Asher comes for us all, and that's 2 barriers, and And we might be seeing Asher, yep, doing it up just as God intended right there. Wowie.
Yeah, Blue Blazing gets it done. Asher primary, barrier beam. BB Blue Blazing, quite a fitting character for the guy. But on the bright side, the Fairfield Stags still have 2 flips available, right? Big energy advantage. They can use these to go to offense real quickly or help out on the defense. That'll be huge for them. But these slimes are a little awkward, and both barriers already taken by UTD.
Yeah, something I'm thinking about is just how much damage Fairfield is able to put out, and if Phoenix was playing a goalie that had a similar defense, but it was able to put on more damage. That doesn't matter, though, when Dropletto is able to get these KOs with the Black Hole. Been working out really well. I think found 2 or 3 of them at this point, and now in the power play. Almost able to get the second barrier, but Asianator able to hold it down and Altair on the conversion, able to push it forward, and UTD is going to be pulling ahead this game.
Yeah, and a lot of it, almost all of it actually, has been on Asianator, right? Doing a very, very good job cutting the pass between Drop and Strages. Is playing a goalie with a lot of agency in that department. And it's just making it so difficult, really containing the power of Dropletto, who is, of course, the Nassau Brawler, the player to watch in the lobby. And with even more size on Blue Blazing, this is going to be a really, really scary game to play. Stagger Swagger taken by Asianator, even more speed for the goalie as well. And the speed differences might come into play here.
Yeah, pretty terrifying draft if you're Fairfield. UTD just picked up double-sized Asher and a Speed Awakening onto their Finny goalie. This Asianator guy is going to be moving quickly, but doesn't matter because Dropletto on the stacks. 5-second point. Just absolutely speed blitz UTD, and there's still some hope. I think the stacks pickup on Drop is going to be a huge, huge difference maker in what he's able to do this game.
And let's be clear, that was only like 10% drop. It was 90% EDA Phoenix on the kickoff with the slime that sent it 3 million miles an hour behind both barriers. And now Asianator's got to be a lot more aware here with one barrier already going down. The goalie VTD that's been doing so much work so far continues to get it done here. Drop in the corner, looking for the dribbles, but Blue Blazing containing. But again, like a lot of cooldowns being burned here and Blue being chipped down means that there's a pretty big win condition here for Fairfield.
Yeah, they're able to just pick apart the Brawler, and without Blue Blazing, I feel like their offense is just significantly worse. Obviously, they're playing incredibly offensive, but without the big Asher to just get things done, it's going to be tough. No Strages, though, means that the defense is just going to be Juno versus Asher. And again, look at how big Asher is. And you expect Juno to sit there and defend against that. That is an incredibly unfortunate KO for Fairfield. Or unfortunate loss. Really difficult to 1v1 the Asher, but that's going to be another point for UTD.
Yeah, and that might kind of be Dropletto's fault, right? One for the heavy impact, one for the damage win condition. But what matters here is a lot of these strike interactions, which Blue Blazing just happens to be winning. I wonder why, and the reason is obviously because that guy has a lot of size awakenings on the board. It's hard to lose when you get the core like that, when Asianator is playing so well in the backfield, while Terror is getting the KOs when necessary on Strages. This UTD team is coming together in a big way.
Yeah, definitely. Their win conditions becoming very clear. They have Big Asher to just start sweeping through the barriers, and then Altair gets to play support on the back line, look for KOs where he can. But here, forced to burn flip because Fairfield able to get both barriers, had a great offensive right there, but unable to capitalize. But Dropletto there, just at 1v1, Brawler has the core. It is not going to be looking good for the goalie. Able to swing it right up top, get it in, and tie up the set. UTD on match point, but Fairfield has the opportunity to take us to a set 5 here.
Yeah, and I think Blue Blazing just needs to slow it down a little bit. Oh no, that's a KO. That's Fairfield in a big opportunity here, but Asianator once again making it difficult, right? Making it so hard for Fairfield to get a clear offensive chance. Oh, but the pass splitter accidentally goes the wrong way. Definitely not intended, but once again, it's Asianator saving the day. A barrier take by the Finny goalie, coverage by Drop, but that guy's not big enough, doesn't have the size awakenings to get it done, and now Blue Blazing helping out as well. This defense so difficult now as EDA Phoenix accelerates it, Drop in position. Fairfield, a chance, but it's Altair who closes it out in the favor of UTD.
Yeah, from downtown, sweeping in and able to catch the clear right between Phoenix and Strages. Going to be putting it in, and that's going to be game one to UT Dallas. Played really well. The coordination that they had, I think, was really impressive. And, you know, it was their map pick. Looked very comfortable on it, able to play to their win condition and get it done. I'm curious to see how they're going to respond on Night Market, which is not their map pick, but able to see if they're able to kind of pull together the same thing as they just did here.
Yeah, it really came down to the defense, and Asianator, of course, has been playing the game approximately a million times longer than EDA Phoenix has. Nothing, but that's definitely not a jab against Asianator, because that guy performed so incredibly well, right? When it comes to the power scaling of Omega Strikers players, Asianator's like firmly in the mid tier, and Dropleto's a Nassau Grand Finalist. That guy is at the very top. But Asianator contained Dropleto, made him look average.
Yeah, Asianator in the box, powered up, to match Dropleto, and it really worked by preventing their best player from getting out there and doing it up. UTD was just able to play their own game, and the matchup into, again, Dropleto, established player, and two newer players getting in there. Obviously, the players with much longer history with the game going to be doing a little bit better. I think that makes sense. Again, though, I've been really impressed with Strages and Phoenix, able to pull together for how long they've been playing. A great performance, and I think UTD played really well, looking really good. But I don't think this series is, absolutely cleared in their favor. I am curious to see how Fairfield responds after that, because they had a great performance in the beginning and weren't able to contain the scaling that UTD did. So I want to see if they have a plan to, maybe ban the Asher, just not deal with that at all. Pick a more traditional goalie. Not that the Juno was bad. It had a great kickoff, but obviously on defense, really hard, especially into that Asher and these characters that Blue Blazing will be picking.
Yeah, definitely a possibility, but then you run into the Blue Blazing Juliet, and I think that the Asianator Atlas is a bigger problem. It's tough too, because Fairfield Stags, they have a target on their back. It's a little bit obvious what they're gonna lock in, right? EDA Phoenix is going for that Juno goalie, not an eject button player. Might play the Dubu, who knows? But on the other end, UTD, they have a lot more flexibility with Asianator, and Altair, of course, just looks so impressive that game.
Yeah, I really liked what Altair was putting up. Always in the right places, always, like I said earlier, playing support for Blue Blazing, who is going to get in there, going to press the big Asher buttons and start claiming objectives, getting the barriers, getting the goals, just like that. And it's a great awareness and presence of mind of their team's win condition. Altair sits back and says, I know what I have to do to win, and it is get Blue Blazing the ball. And once that's been achieved, everything else is, my work here is done. Sit back and watch the show. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, heading into the draft, though, it is specialized training rapid fire. This is a bit of an interesting one, I gotta say. This start on this map, this is kind of leaning towards an X possibly being prioritized here. I know that X is not really in Blue Blazing's pool, while it is the most iconic striker for Dropleto when it comes to the goalies as well. Juno will benefit a lot from that rapid fire. But with how obvious that is, I do expect that Drop will not be allowed to play X. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is usually on a rapid fire start, especially on a map like Night Market, that is a great opportunity to just take a bunch of damage and start using your lowered primary CD. Just kill people. Just take them down, And so it makes Spec a kind of scary pickup, because then you don't have that rapid fire to contend in the damage department. X, though, rapid fire is fine. Obviously, Spec is really good. Becomes a great pick here because rapid fire is not super high prio for X. and you can just start like farming dash punch kills. Why bother with any of the like damage department when you can just kill people for free? You know, but interesting coming out here, a Juno ban from UTD trying to force Phoenix into an awkward position off comfort, and I'm I wonder what Phoenix will do in response, and I wonder how this will affect the Fairfield draft as they ban Asher. It's not willing to deal with that, and that's I think really fair, really smart play. Gonna be picking up the X immediately. Makes sense. I think this looks great for Fairfield.
Yeah, I think the first game Rune ban was really confusing, and I think the Juno ban's also a little confusing because I don't think the Juno was even close to the problem here. That lets EDA Phoenix get the Dubu, and of course they're picking away the X. But again, Blue Blazing has multiple better characters than the X. That is not the first one that I would reach for when I think of that player. And I think that overall, I think Fairfield has played this draft out quite well. And although UTD, like looking at their final composition, it's totally fine. Like they could win with this. I think Fairfield could have been punished a lot more here.
Yeah, definitely. We saw, as you mentioned, Phoenix's top two picks, Juno and Dubu, off the table, which seem to be locking in Ash Atlas. And I can think of many worse situations than, oh man, my goalie has to play Atlas. That's pretty good. I'm sitting there. It's like awesome. We have healing. We have now Atlas. In fact, oh now Atlas X. That sounds awesome. That's just a great comp on almost any map, especially Night Market. The UTD comp, Juliet, obviously super nice on Night Market, farm and dash bunch KOs, etc. The Imi looked beautiful last game. I'm pretty curious about the Dubu. I don't think I've ever seen Asianator play it, and obviously, as we've talked about, Asianator, very good player, been around for a while, can certainly show up and play Dubu, but I have to wonder how much value Dubu will be able to produce versus the Finny from last game, or the Asher from, or sorry, I keep saying Asher, the Atlas in this game. Dubu, not a bad pick by any means, but definitely not Atlas, who is a great pick, you know?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here. It's Night Market. Speed is quite the factor here, of course. And I think that now we'll have a very good time. I was very impressed by Altair's gameplay in the previous game, and I think if Altair continues to perform like they did in that AtLab game, I think that UTD will have a pretty comfortable 2-0 on their hands. But a lot of question marks around the Blue Blazing X for sure, because, again, like, not the usual pick that you see.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. And they people be saying X is an easy character to pilot, and that's like I sort of believe it, right? Because obviously you get in there, you press ult, and then you start clicking, you start punching them, and it usually works out. But I feel like X is a character that can get put into positions where you're just completely useless. You're big, you're slow, and it's hard to create value when your team's on defense and you're X. You can start hitting people, but you can only do so much with that unless you are consistently getting KOs. And so putting a player that's not super familiar with X on X is tough, because if they're not comfortable with the character, not able to find ways to create value, then the X is not going to perform super well. Obviously, X, great scaling pick, can get any awakening and eventually just turn into God. And then none of that matters. But you have to get there first. You can lose the first two sets, but then you have to start winning sets to keep the game going and win. And if you can't create enough value by that time, it's really tough. It is very tough to just be low value X. It feels awful.
Yeah, it looks like we're finally heading into the game here. Gonna be interesting to see how this one pans out. Night Market. It's a very polarizing map, and we could even see the control of the game being one-sided very, very quickly. And Again, going to be very interesting to see how Altair plays this one. Pleasantly surprised the previous game, and maybe we'll be continuing to impress.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Now is a very different character from Imi. No blink, speed midfielder. But I do think that Imi would be considered more difficult to pilot. It really comes down to preference, but I want to see if Altair has the comfort on a speed midfielder to pull it off. Again, like you said, very impressed with how they played that last game. So I'm pretty confident that they could do it, but we'll have to see,
Yeah, we'll have to see. And Dropletto playing a little bit of midfield here as Strages covers the out clear, but there's no out clear to be found. But there's a KO. Dropletto gets it done on the Juliet and Asianator. A little bit of overcommitment. Lets the barrier fall, and that's an opportunity for Strages and Drop. Looking for the hit stun, looking for an opportunity once again. But Asianator continues to hold it down while Drop tries to set up. Strages with the passing play on top side, gets the coverage. And a really strong offense from both sides so far, but the KO, the damage pressure, also coming out as well.
Yeah, Blue Blazing just hunting down Dropletto the moment he saw that health bar get lowered. Dropletto earlier with a huge dash punch to knock out Altair and get these barriers. Another one coming out, but Asianator with the revive, preventing that from getting anything. Now dash punch is down, and Fairfield's in a pretty uncomfortable spot. Big flip coming out from Blue Blazing. The bell ringer will be getting it through, and first point to UTD.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of inexperience come up from EDA Phoenix there. That kind of flip is pretty much like an auto timing for the goalie, right? You see the bell ringer and you just like press strike, and usually it's saved. But again, this player is incredibly new to the game, so can't expect the world. Blue Blazing, of course, impressing on the X. I was a doubter before this game started, but that dash punch has converted me into a bit of a believer.
Yeah, good, great dash punch even. Again, X, character that can be difficult to create value on, but Blue Blazing just looks really comfortable on it. Big flip coming out from Altair, good patience, and able to get it through the Fairfield defense right in the top corner. And UTD looking super dominant this game.
Yeah, Asianator with a flip as well, sitting pretty comfortably. Drop with a lot of meter built up. Might be able to create an explosive play, but being contained by the double team of Altair and Blue Blazing. And you can do that a lot more reliably on a map like Night Market, right? You can overcommit to one side without it being overcommitment.
Yeah, and that's super scary, because then suddenly the other side of the map not covering it all, and 50 people spawn in and start attacking your barrier, and you've got to rotate real quick. Anyway, Dropletto is really just taken a ton of damage this game. Almost gets a dash punch kill. Not quite there, but I think Julie, similar to X, has a lot of scaling potential, but really it looks like Dropletto is going to have to work to stay alive and get some awakenings in the future that are able to get him into positions to start getting more dash punch KOs, because right now UTD is just running over the Fairfield defense.
Yeah, it's really coming down to it, and the speed awakenings are going to be a huge focus of the draft that's coming up here. I'm looking at the catalyst as well for a lot of energy generation, but overall, a bit of a weird draft as 3 sparks have appeared.
Yeah, but that is going to be Catalyst Julie, and I think that's a great pickup. Obviously, every character is awesome with Catalyst. That's pretty easy to understand, but Catalyst on Juliet is particularly great because Dash Punch, you're usually hitting the core and then a person. Each hit of both the dash and the punch generate 3 energy on everything it hits. So if you hit both the core and a person, that's 12 energy, and now you're getting 15% more off of it. Julie just generates so much energy so quickly, and you wouldn't expect it because Dash Punch is one big CD, but that's a big pickup, and I think that's going to be super valuable. I mean, look at this guy's energy bar. It's almost full already. It's been 20 seconds. Yeah,
he flame flurried 2 people, and that's an entire flip in your hands. Drop and Strages playing a lot more confidently in this one, but Blue Blazing on the breakaway goes right to EDA Phoenix, though, and that's an easy save for the goalie, inexperienced or not. Asianator with a great hit around Dropletto, though. These clear angles from Asianator continues, just continually impressive, but a flip in front of your face is a little bit harder to defend.
Yeah, definitely. And a big KO found by Blue Blazing, picking up a Sides Awakening that last draft. looking mighty big. Playing another character with just a bigger strike hitbox, and Altair with the coverage able to just punish that clear from Phoenix, get both barriers, and bonk it in with the bell ringer. UTD still looking great.
Yeah, they got that damage focus as well. Altair really coordinating with Blue Blazing on those KOs very, very well. And at the very end, a bit of a timing mix-up with the soft side of the hitbox, it looked like. Strage is now the one who has almost flip available, but Asianer's defending so well that there aren't really any obvious openings.
Yeah, it's the Asianator putting on his iron wall pants, just holding it down. Really hard to get through, and even in the midfield, Altair, it just feels like he's everywhere, covering so much, and then Blue Blazing with the damage threat, able to just pick someone, focus them down, and Stray just has to be careful with this flip. Might have to burn it defensively just to stay alive, because they are hunting him down right now.
Oh, but Dropletto gets a little bit of revenge here, and Strage's flip available. Gets strike ward by Altair, but Asianator burns flip in the process as well. He might be looking for a KO onto Altair to continue the pressure, but the clears are so good. A strike shot return from EDA Phoenix. That aim was excellent, but it's still an open net at their backs, and Blue Blazing. Dash punch flipped off. A glitch pop by Strage's barely saves it, but the secondary by Altair does it yet again.
Yeah, Altair says, no brawler, no problem. Rolls up those sleeves and gets to work, able to put it in all on his own. And again, just time after time, Altair is showing up and just making these impressive plays that you wouldn't expect from someone who hasn't played the game in like over a year.
Strages, though, gets a 1v2 barrier, and the defense comes through for the Fairfield Stags. Strages trying to hit stun Asiator away, accidentally hits the core as well, so the barrier will still stand. Dropletto going in with the Flame Flurry, though, and maybe the offense can get started. Blue Blazing, a bit of a threat, and the clear right to him, still surviving despite the dash punch. No knockback awakenings for Dropletto, unfortunately. Building up a flip, though, thanks to the Catalyst. One hit away, it looks like, and will finally secure it, but needs to find a good opportunity because this Atlas is quite good against the flip.
Right, and Dropletto getting a great flip right there. Huge shot from downtown. Really, really well played, and that's something I will always commend Nassau Brawlers for, is just picking the right times to flip. Not always, you know, nobody's perfect, but Dropletto able to hold onto it and wait until the ball was in a like comfortable spot, like forward enough for him to pick it up and get it, and just going crazy on the barriers there, able to get one, but Asianator defending against another. Fairfield showing some signs of life, starting to bring it back, but they're going to need 2 more points if they want to win this set.
Yeah, they're going to need 2 more points right now as the strike shot misses, but the strike comes back in time. A dash punch attempt by Dropletto. Blue Blazing gets in there with the dash strike. And now dribbling to the top side, but it gives it right to Strages, who gets a chance, but it's deflected away by Asianator. This goalie of UTD, I've said Asianator's name 3 million times, I think, but just an excellent performance.
Yeah, definitely. Just, again, completely holding it down. And in this matchup, where your brawler is your best player, if the enemy goalie is putting on a performance like this, and again, like last game, diminishing Dropletto's output here, it's super difficult to get anything done, because kind of relying on Dropletto to get it, but a little bit of a wacky angle, unfortunate bounce, is going to be taking that last barrier. Dropletto still has the flip, able to get his orb. EDA Phoenix also with the flip. Things are looking great for Fairfield at this point.
They still need to convert, though. It's not over till it's over, especially with the Asianator Atlas in the building right now, and Blue Blazing got a lot of core speed to play with. Dropletto backed up by Strages, though. Passing play, a flip to secure, and with the Catalyst, being able to flip to secure every goal is so nice for them. A big win condition for the Fairfield Stags.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that really cements Catalyst as one of the best awakenings in the game, is that it is a beautiful win condition. A flip in front of the goalie, you can be Atlas, you can be anyone, it doesn't matter. Flip in front of the goalie is such an advantageous situation that being able to get so many more of those and play for that is a great way to win games. Now both barriers down for Fairfield. They have an opportunity. Dropletto, no flip in sight, but a couple hits will be able to generate it. That Flaming Flare getting 2 bars of energy. They still have a lot of pressure coming out, finally transitioning to defense, but the ball really seems like it's in Fairfield's hands. They have the opportunity to get something done. They just need that one good capitalization on it. And it looks like it's coming up soon.
Yeah, Missile Prop Tofu Fortress does a lot of work, and EDA Phoenix still has a flip available. Needs to be very careful around this barrier, though. Dropletto building up a flip as well, but Blue Blazing now on a solo play, interrupted by Strages, dropping back to help defend. And that's a worthwhile cooldown there, but the Firewall Sentry doesn't last long enough. EDA Phoenix now passes it right to Blue Blazing. Oh no! Now the problem starts to get it out of the corner, but Blue Blazing's in position. A Strike War win by Dropletto, a flip available, a KO found. It goes backwards. Fairfield with a bit of panic, but they managed to hold on for now, but they got to be careful. Altair has been the one scoring the Strike Wars won by Strages so far, but they still got to be careful because Altair is containing the entire midfield right now.
A terrifying situation for Fairfield, but able to get a KO off of it. Altair, though, able to hold it down, but Dropletto with the flip. And says, I can shoot it from here. Asianator is down. Open net up top. Bang. Boom. Right in there. And Fairfield equalizes this game in what looked like a pretty bleak game for them. Back in an instant. And rewarded with a whole ton of awakenings. Fight or flight. Might be able to get 1-2 punch onto Dropletto. And things are looking good.
Yeah, they go for the Manu here, but I think denying that 1-2 punch perhaps might have been the play. Twin Drive's passed down, though. So it is still a big win for UTD, I think, because Twin Drive on the Atlas that's been carrying this game, along with Manu on the Now, and extra special denied. Well, not denied away. Taken by the X. Like, this is a scary situation for Fairfield still.
Yeah, they were able to get that knockback awakening onto Dropletto. The dash punches are going to be KOing at disgusting distances now. Oh, so is the Missile Prop Tofu Fortress. Hey, and they're doing it. Of course, now they have to get through the Twin Drive Atlas, but the damage threat, the KO potential that they have is absolutely online right now.
Yeah, and perfect form still on the table, right? So if Dropletto manages to get that, that is the game swinging all the way around. But Blue Blazing X Maximus dash punch immediately, and the 1-2 punch Julie has changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely. They had to trade 1-2 punch Julie for Twin Drive Atlas. But I don't think it matters, because if it's Atlas 1v3 all the time, all these double KOs coming out, actually he's holding really well. Eventually he's going to crack. Until then, though, this guy's looking a little unstoppable.
Oh, but the 1-2 punch and specialized training hit stun is ridiculous, but Blue Blazing gets the KO down. EDA Phoenix the other side of the world. Dropletto now left all alone for a moment without the midfield carry. And now a good roll by EDA Phoenix, a good dash punch by Dropletto. And EDA Phoenix looking real good this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. You know, Strages, a lot of good things to say about them. But Dropletto's really showing up this point, putting on his Nassau Brawler pants, believe it or not, and saying, I'm gonna start killing people. I'm gonna start, like, just getting violent, getting vicious. Ooh. Burns the flip from Blue Blazing. That is huge for Fairfield. And they have another offensive push. A great Strike War win from Dropletto, and I don't know, he's so back.
He is so back. I did not feel energy from Drop. Like, you know how, like, you can rate performance based on how they're performing relative to their expectations? Drop was getting an F so far, you know? Like
yeah.
That guy, expectations will always be on him. He is a Nassau Grand Finalist just last week. He's back. He's finally back.
He's back. His aura is insane right now. Fortunately, Blue Blazing doing a little bit of aura maxing in the box, able to get the barrier, put it in, burn EDA Phoenix's flip, and tie up the game, saying, hold up, there are 2 brawlers in this game, and it's my turn right now. And he took his turn quite nicely, putting on a great X performance there. Yeah,
the saves though are really patient from Fairfield at this point. They're trying to make it so that it doesn't happen like the previous one. Get elusive from Altair, but the dash punch is inevitable here. A good flip by Straches, and the expanse disappears right as the flip comes through. But Blue Blazing, good dash through the center, stays alive as well. And that is Fairfield on the back foot now. They burned a lot of meter, but they only have 1 barrier to show for it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a ton of damage coming out onto Blue Blazing. The Atlas ult burned, and I think for UTD, their win condition right now is to just focus on staying alive. You know, it's both Aimee and Julie are like huge burst characters that use their abilities and like have high highs, but then really low lows, whereas UTD is super consistent with the Now and the X, kind of always putting on consistent pressure. If they're able to withstand each of the big spikes like that Fairfield is putting out, I think a longer point benefits them a lot more. They're able to hold on and eventually just whittle away at Fairfield. And so if they stay alive, don't give any opportunities for Fairfield to spike, they should be in the clear.
Oh, and EDA Phoenix, a bit of a panic strike there. Blue Blazing gets possession and turns it all the way around. Both barriers down for both sides. In a dangerous spot as Blue Blazing dropped, didn't notice the flip coming up. And now a scoring attempt by Blue Blazing. Perfect shot to the top corner, perfectly aimed. And UTD 1 goal away from taking the lead once again.
Yeah, that was I've played the game for a very long time shot. It's just like a super clean up right at the top shot, and Strages went down to the bottom to try and cover an in-between shot, which would have also been pretty smart, especially if Strages went to go commit to the top. Awkward 50-50 there, but Blue Blazing did the smart, safe play, and I really appreciate that, because obviously it worked,
Yeah.
But it's a very consistent shot to go for.
Strages now with the flip available, looking for a cyber swipe forward, perhaps a good flip to not die to the dash from Blue Blazing as well, but now a flip, awkward spot, but Blue Blazing goes down while taking down Strages. Dropletto still low though, needs to be careful, and has the speed from the center. Awkward situation in the midfield as both teams are kind of waiting for the 3v3 to come back, and indeed it does, but Dropletto's chipped down. Dangerous spot to be in if you're the brawler.
It definitely still low. Blue Blazing back. Definitely has some cooldowns. But oh my god, Strages just 5 big booms for that guy. Wow.
The faked out Asianator
1v9.
with the glitch pop detonation sound effect, by the way. Like just a glitch pop, instant glitch pop detonate, faked out Asianator, who went for the strike right afterwards and struck where that to get the goal. That was impressive from Strages. And I think Altair probably should have backed Asianator up a little bit there, but that was such an impressive goal that I don't blame you.
Yeah, insane. And then off rip, a big KO coming out for Fairfield. It really seems like this team is super momentum based. They get one good play and then they just start rolling in one after another, a banger after banger. And what a great play to ride off of. Holding on so far, only down one barrier, unable to get this last barrier, but Dropletto absolutely shooting in there with the fury of a man playing Juliet, trying to seal out this set 3. But Asianator is just still holding on.
Yeah, Drop's fishing for a dash punch here, but Blue Blazing is giving no openings right now. Dangerous situation in the top side as the damage stacks up. Drop with a flip available now. Tried to flip. Really good flip by Asianator and a really good Tofu Fortress by EDA Phoenix, but it bounces around. Needs to flip out of here. Oh no, Altair with the perfect shot, but that flip needed to be used. And Asianator started it all right with a flip on the other end. If that flip hadn't come through, Drop would have flipped in front of the net, and that would have been a goal for Fairfield instead.
Yeah, that would have been it, but great flip coming out from Asianator, bringing all the tempo back to UTD and able to get that point. There's perfect form right there, and honestly, you want to see it on Drop, but I really think that Strages had to deny the perfect form, because perfect form X, especially with size and extra special, holy moly, this guy is a threat, and that could just be the game. Perfect form X is one of the strongest characters ever, and with all the CDR, the extra specialized, that's unlimited damage, unlimited KO potential, and that's pretty scary to contend with.
Yeah, on the bright side, Drop is a lot tankier, right? He was getting chipped down last set, but that will be less of the case this time. But again, yeah, like you mentioned, the perfect form cooldowns are going to be overwhelming here, and although Drop is tanky, still needs those buttons to get things done against the Atlas.
Yeah, definitely. Only so many CDs coming out from Dropletto. The peak performance, really nice. Going to be a lot more presence on the field as well with that speed, not just extra stagger. But right now, it's really feeling a lot like extra stagger, as peak performance value not taken down to 0 right there. Able to get the orb, heal up. But the expanse, again, Twin Drive just shutting down everything. Dropletto looking low. Has to fight against the perfect form, extra specialized training X. Good luck, has a flip, gonna be taking that KO, and it's going right in. And that's it.
Yeah, they've managed to make it all the way to the end game here. And Asiator still has a flip available. Altair looking at one as well. The energy advantage, incredible for UTD. And before we saw Fairfield play, this team would have been favored, especially with Asianator as the goalie, probably the highest rated member of this team, while Drop had two complete unknowns, right? But with Fairfield having so many expectations now, this UTD roster continues to perform, but on the other end, Strages and Dropletto doing so much damage in the moment, but EDA Phoenix overcommitting to the top side and Blue Blazing capitalizing instantly. And UTD stand one goal away from continuing their undefeated record.
Yeah, both these teams undefeated, but right here, UTD looking to continue that, take that from Fairfield, and it's looking really difficult. We've seen Fairfield have these big explosive plays, come back from these deficits, but in the power play, or in the reverse power play right here, looking really difficult. EDA Phoenix super low, close to flip too, so doesn't want to evade, has flip. Might have to burn it just to stay alive, because at this point, it's do or die. But big plays coming out from both teams. Two power plays, the 2v2 coming out. No goalie for Fairfield, but they have Strages able to hold it down. They just have to get it through Asianator if they want to get any ground. But it's so difficult. And Altair on the respawn with the Now Mine, able to take that barrier. And that's going to be it. A great strike four from Blue Blazing, and they will be 2-0ing here, continuing that undefeated record. Wow.
Yeah, and I went into this game thinking that, okay, this is going to be interesting. This is probably going to be Fairfield doing quite well like they did before. But the game plan was shut down completely by one player, whose name is Asianator, performing so well on the Finine the first game, and locking it down so well on the Atlas in the second game. This player who is in the Tier 3 league, right? Nasty.
Mm-hmm.
This guy nullified Dropletto. Like, what a performance by Asianator on the day.
Yeah, really punching above his weight there. Definitely not what I would expect going into this game. I see Dropletto and say, Dropletto, do you score? And then usually that's what happens. But getting completely locked up is really difficult. I think, obviously, they lost. Like, this is going to sound weird, but I think this was a good game for Fairfield here, because they've had a lot of these expectations and they've been living up to it. And not to say that they didn't live up to expectations this game. Obviously, going against the 6th seed, it's really difficult. But I think this was a good reminder that even though these players are performing exceptionally, two no-names punching way above their weight, holding their own, there's still a lot to learn, and that can be scary. Like I'm sitting here. If I'm in that game, I'm like, man, that's pretty tough. But still a long way to go. The season just started, and I really believe that with how far they've come in just a few weeks, they should be able to fully meet these expectations that have been placed on them by the end. So, well played to both teams, but UTD, more experience under their belt, going to be taking that one.
Yeah, and if Asianator can continue to perform, because famously that guy has historically not been the most consistent performer, but with the series like this, the UTD stocks are rising so hard, and Altair as well. I don't think I would predict them to be the top team. We saw UT Nerdboom absolutely dismantle another top team, Fuel Esports, earlier today, right? But when that UTD match comes around with one of those teams, that's going to be quite the banger.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I'm looking forward to it. And you viewer at home, you should too. Until then, that is all the Collegiate Core Strike League we have for today. We'll be signing off. Any last words, Saya?
No. Goodbye.
Bye.